What's up, you guys? It's your boy B Dizzle coming back at you here with another vlog. Wanted to say thank you guys so very much with all the new subscribers and comments and likes that we are getting. In my opinion, we are blowing up. We're gonna make it to the top. So I really appreciate that. You guys motivate me every single day to get out here and make a new film. It's almost like it's an addiction now to come out here and make a new video for you guys. It definitely keeps me motivated and definitely keeps me from staying inside the house all day and coming out here and making some content that you guys would enjoy. At least that's the plan. Today I wanted to talk about the moment you decide, you know what? It's time for me to get a motorcycle. I'm tired of these cars. I want to live free. I want to ride. I want to get out there. And you know what? Don't even think about it. Just do it. It will be the best decision that you have ever made. It is such a blast. It is so freeing. You meet all kinds of new friendly people. It's so weird because people who ride motorcycles are so much nicer than people who drive a dang car. I don't know why, but man, and it must be the stress thing. To have that feeling of not being stressed or anything, you just feel good. You want to ride. There are times where I don't want to drive my car. I don't want to do that. I'd rather get on my motorcycle and ride. Feel the freedom, feel the wind. And it's so cool, the feeling that you get. It's such a hard thing to describe. That's what she said. But on what riding a motorcycle feels like. It's very freeing, extremely relaxing, stress-free. It just feels good, man. It feels right, you know. And it's weird because I used to be really into cars, really into them. Drag racing. I used to have Supras. I had Evos. I've had Subaru STIs. I've had Cobra Mustangs. I mean, I've had some cool cars. And one day, I guess it started when one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try out a motorcycle. So I ended up buying a dirt bike off of my old boss. It was a Honda CR125R, and he had it sitting behind his garage for a trillion years. And I ended up buying it for like $300 or so, real cheap, 300, 350, something like that, super cheap. And it needed a new top end, so I rebuilt the top end on it, and man, that thing ripped after that. And I was hooked. And so I rode that around for a while, ripped it up and down. I used to live by this area we called the Flats in California, and it used to be an old abandoned, it was an old abandoned housing development. And so it had all the foundation leveling where all the houses would sit, hence why we called it the Flats, because the guy went bust, he went bankrupt, wherever it was. All he was able to build was the dirt foundation for where the house would have sat, and then he went bust. But I took it there all the time, and I just ripped that bike. What a blast. And so I had that for years and years and years. I ended up moving to Oregon, and I got my first motorcycle, real motorcycle, which was Ducatis. And ever since then, I sold my Evo, I've sold my STI, sold my Supra, and I just don't really care anymore. That's why you should beware when you do get into motorcycles. It is an extremely addicting thing, very addicting. And I stopped caring for cars, I stopped caring for fast trucks, fast cars, and all I wanted was more and more motorcycles. I still the same way, still think the same exact way. I don't care about anything else. Ever since then, I've just bought and sold more and more and more, and more 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 and have 3 motorcycles that I really enjoy, and I don't think I'll be selling them anytime soon, but there is always another motorcycle, another fun motorcycle, another fast motorcycle, another adventure dual sport motorcycle, and I may just have to have it. You know, and motorcycles, they just have such a more connection, such a passion with motorcycles. So that's what you got to be aware of, that if you get into the motorcycle game, you could potentially stop liking cars as well. And get really addicted to motorcycles, because it is a blast. They are so much fun, and everything's cheaper, guys. Like everything. So like when I had my Evo, it cost tons of money to make that thing fast, tons of it. And then now you're losing gas mileage, you're losing reliability. That was not a very reliable car after I started doing stuff to it. But when you look into motorcycles, you don't, they're already quick, they're already fast, they already handle. You don't have to really do anything to get them to do stuff. I mean, really the only things you need to do, and it's not even a need, it's more of a want, but number one, exhaust. Of course you're gonna get a motorcycle and do an exhaust. Why in the heck wouldn't you do that? And then you might want to do some cosmetic things, you know, and make it your motorcycle. But generally, you don't do anything else. Usually you don't touch the motor, you don't touch anything like that. You know, as for a car though, you do. You normally would change all that stuff, but change the cam, change the heads, full exhaust, headers, the whole deal, just to make it go a little bit faster. And not to mention, if you did heads, cam, intake, all that stuff, you're already talking way over a couple $1,000s, depending on which kind of car it is. But for all that, you could have bought a motorcycle. You could have bought a used R6, a Gixxer, a Supermoto, where, I mean, I'm hauling ass through these corners here, but I'm not going crazy or anything like that, but it feels absolutely amazing. It's such a rush. This is so much more fun, in my opinion, than a car. Now don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind giving a Hellcat a rip around the track or the drag strip. I wouldn't mind doing a monster burnout. Am I gonna say, yeah, I want to take that home and keep it for the rest of my life? No, definitely not. That's just not what I want. And I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I've got an 03 4Runner that's lifted and it's got big wheels, tires, all that good stuff, and I barely drive it. I ride these more than anything. Even when it's pouring out rain or whatever, I'm still on a motorcycle. So that's just one of the things, I guess, that's cool, is you can ride a motorcycle year round. They make gear for rain and snow and all that stuff. I've ridden this bike almost all year round, and then when I didn't have this, I rode the Ducatis. Now don't get me wrong, if it's pouring rain, I'll drive my truck. If it's snowing, I'll drive my truck. Yes, that's what I'll do. But I'm not gonna go out of my way and take the truck when I don't need to, when I could be like, hey man, this could be a real nice ride. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not going to take the truck. Now my other bikes have bags. They have motorcycle bags, you know, saddle bags, stuff like that. So I don't need to bring a backpack with those. But with this, I'll bring a backpack, and it's really not that big of a deal. It doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel uncomfortable or anything, like, you know, it just doesn't feel that bad. Now, I mean, I've even seen like other YouTubers riding around with with like guitars in their backpack and stuff. Like Baker X Derek, I watched him go and buy a brand new guitar, put it in his backpack and ride back home. He didn't use a car. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say you don't need a car. If I lived in Arizona or California, Nevada, I don't even know if I would really have a truck. I'd probably sell it. But it is all paid off, so I guess it doesn't really matter or hurt that I still have it, I guess. One of the other things you need to worry about when getting into motorcycles, which I did not do, I somehow completely spaced on this, the price of your gear can be really expensive. And for some reason, I guess when I first got into motorcycles, I didn't really think of that. I guess I was just thinking, you know, the price of the motorcycle. I could care less about, I didn't even really think about gear. I was just like, oh, I'll just get a helmet, big deal, a couple $100. But I was more so concerned about the price of the bike than anything else. And I think that's where I screwed up. Or not really screwed up per se, just something I really overlooked. You gotta remember, when you're in a car, you've got a cage around you. You've got something protecting you. You don't need to suit up to get in your car. But you do have to suit up to get on your bike. So you need special gloves, you need special jacket, obviously a helmet, you need special riding pants, and riding shoes. I mean, there's a whole nother world that you have to explore when it comes to gear and motorcycles and things like that. So that's one thing I would definitely suggest you do. Maybe before you go out and buy the bike, is just do a little bit of research on how much your gear would cost, your size, you know, your style of gear that you're wanting, the type of motorcycle helmet that you want. And that's another thing too, I will say, if you ask me, I would say to get motorcycle gear head to toe, but if you don't have the budget for really good expensive stuff, nice quality stuff, I would definitely spend the vast majority of your budget on as nice of a helmet as you can buy. It makes such a big difference, a nice quality helmet versus one that's just a couple bucks, 60, 70 bucks. If you can get yourself into an Arai or an AGV helmet, I'm telling you, world of a difference for riding. Completely different experience. It's very quiet. The other helmets, you move around like this a lot. And the sound on your ears, because believe it or not, just because you have a helmet on, you can still hear the wind coming through, going right past you. So if you have a nice quality helmet, the sound deadening in the material of the foam inside the helmet is so much better. The aerodynamics of the helmet is so much better than a cheapo $60 to $80 helmet. It's your call, you guys. I would say get into motorcycles. I would say don't even think about it, just do it. Get into some as soon as you can. Take a safety course. Man, ride. Alright, you guys, that's going to be it for today. Just wanted to talk about my thoughts on you getting into motorcycling. I will hit you up later. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. I appreciate it, everyone. Peace out.